Julde, where are you?
Mic 1 2 3, mic 1 2 3, mic 1 2 3.
Today it's the beginning of a new month. May it be the best month ever.
Amen to that.
Yes. Julde, good morning. How are you?
I mean, alhamdulillah. Good morning to you, Balde.
Yeah.
And happy new month to everybody, especially to our viewers from wherever you're watching us from. And we hope that you have a nice month.
A month of blessing.
Yes.
A month
peace.
of health, peace of mind, with a lot of money.
And you know, remarkably, there are people who name their children, if their child is born on the 1st of a particular month. So I have a friend who's called June because she was born on the 1st of June, and I have a friend called Augusta because she was born on the 1st of August.
Woo.
So I don't know whether parents still do that. Can you imagine if you were born the 1st of September and your parents decided to call you September?
Or December.
I would not be, or December. Or actually, the people are called January. That's not an unusual one. But yeah.
Yeah,
But
I've heard people. I've heard names like Success, you know.
Oh yeah,
Glory.
that's common in Africa.
Glory.
Yeah.
But the names of the months, I mean, it's it's really strange.
Yeah, there are many who are named after the month they were born. So yes, first day of the month.
Yeah.
1st of June.
That reminds me of traditional names. I mean, there are names that are traditional, and I think most of us, we have these traditional names like Sori.
Yes.
Sori.
Julde, Korka.
Julde.
We are all in that.
You know what Julde is?
No.
Prayer.
It means prayer in Fula.
Well, mine is a traditional.
You know what
Yoruba.
Korka is?
No.
Ramadan.
Is that right?
In Fula.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So we have traditional names.
Mine is Adeyemi is traditional Yoruba name. It means the crown fits me.
Oh, it fits you.
Adeyemi. That's what.
Oh,
Now
nice.
fits you. It indeed fits you. You're the best editor-in-chief.
Yeah, so we are back, and we are about to discuss issues here. I mean, every day we review the newspapers and try to see how to balance one or two things here. And Julde, we have the African proverb. We'll look at it first before we delve into the paper review.
Okay. Our African proverb this morning is, if things are getting easier, maybe you are getting downhill.
I think
or
you should be going downhill.
Exactly, you're going downhill.
Yes.
Yeah, if things are getting easier, maybe you are going downhill.
It's an interesting one.
Yeah, it is.
So are you going to dive in first?
I always want you to come first so that I can steal ideas from you. Growl, Balde. Okay. Okay, you're giving me the chance to start.
Yes.
Okay. So if things are getting easier, maybe you're going downhill. Meaning if things are getting easier in your life, it means like you're at the verge of, getting nearer to your success or getting nearer to things that you're wishing for, because it's always hard at the beginning.
Going downhill means something's not right.
Downhill?
Downhill,
Really?
going downhill. Yeah, not uphill, going downhill. That's going downhill means things are failing. That's what the phrase means. Going downhill means that
How about
something.
if
Things are getting easier?
Yes.
Well, I mean, I think there is some something logic about this.
No, I think they want people to think hard, and essentially they're trying to tell people that when you are in a job or in life, always keep striving. Never be complacent. Never say, oh, you know, this is... The minute you do that, the minute you think, I've reached the top, I'm successful, that's the danger. That's when things start to slide. That's when things start to go downhill. You should always stay at the top of your game. Always keep learning every day. Always look for things new to do, to keep you interested, to keep the job interesting. You know, otherwise things start to go downhill. You start making mistakes because you get complacent. I remember being in class once with somebody who had he'd failed the previous year, and then he was brought to our class, and he started by just causing trouble every time. And so the teacher asked him, why are you always causing trouble? He said, I did all this last year. And the teacher said, yeah, but that's why you failed, because you're not paying attention. You keep saying you did it all last year. If you did it all last year successfully, you would have passed. Yeah. But because you failed, that's why you've been brought to this class. You know, you've been dropped down a class from, you know, because the rest of his classmates had progressed. And that was a wake-up call for him. That, you know, every time the subject came up, they were like, yeah, I did this last year. And then you start causing trouble in the class, you know, because he thought, oh, it's easy, I don't need to do it. But no, you need to keep on working, you need to keep on striving. And it's the same in life. If you are in a job, you know, the kind of unofficial motto in our team when I first came here was, I want to learn something new every day. That's what people should do. So you'll see me on the internet. I'll go on a subject that I knew nothing about yesterday. I'll look it up today. It might be anything. It could be science. It could be about 5G. It could be about a particular country. Just anything. Learn something new every day and keep your mind fresh. Keep your mind active. And then you don't get complacent.
I think the reason why we are confused here is the proverb said, when things are getting easier, maybe you are getting downhill. I mean, we all know when it is easier, now we think it's success. I mean,
we think you've reached the top.
Imagine with maybe something sliding down the hill. It's easier and you enjoy that.
No, but that the phrase getting downhill or going downhill means that things are sliding. It's like in your job. You know, this job that we're all doing. If we think, oh, we've reached the top, we know what we're doing, we're successful, that's kind of a danger. Never think, oh, I'm the best. I've reached the top. You always want to keep on striving. Never tell yourself when you look in the mirror, oh, I'm so good, I'm the best ever. No, because that's dangerous, because it means complacency sets in, and that's when people start saying, oh, you know, Balde used to be really good last week, but look at him now, he's so casual, he's so... No, never think, I'm Mr. Balde, I've arrived, I'm Mr. Weltare, I'm Mr. Smiling Ghost.
Definitely.
What more do I need? You know, so keep on striving.
Absolutely. So you said they moved that boy after he failed. They moved him to your class. So your class is a class of failure. That's where they moved people who failed. So they moved you when you failed, Mr.
Well, you know,
Mr. Ade,
it's true.
Don't mind Balde. You know, this morning when he came in, he said, I'm going to trouble Mr. Ade today.
Well, he can try.
I'm trying to create trouble this morning.
You can try. The reason they moved him to our class is that because we were a very kind of determined, focused class. So, for example, in our class, you had people who, even though we hadn't reached certain level in the school, we were school prefects because they saw something in us. So they thought that this would spur him on, because if he's surrounded by these people, he'd be, I'm not going to be embarrassed. I'm older than them, but I'm in their class. I'm going to wake up. But I think it was the teacher talking to him that was the wake-up call for him. I don't think it was being surrounded by us.
If you repeat, they will put you to the last class, to the dumbest people, and like every day you will be bullied by teachers, by your peers and everybody
Especially
else.
if a teacher knows you are a failure, like you failed, you repeated. I mean, you are dead.
Yeah, because, and that's wrong, isn't it? Because essentially, in fact, that is the person that the teacher should work hardest on, not the ones who for them it comes easy. It's the ones who've struggled with it. If you're a good teacher, you want to raise them up, raise them to a level, and that's what that teacher did. You know.
Exactly. Well, I mean, I think it's interesting here. I was just trying to, I know, in a class
can
where
try.
Ade is, it's always going to be a very smart class.
I don't know about that.
I know that.
I don't know.
So
about
we'll
that.
take a short break and acknowledge our sponsors. So after the break, then we will review the newspapers. I'm seeing quite very interesting headlines already. So we'll be back.
Medicalia is a high-quality clinic from Europe, which is now in the Gambia. Do you have an eye problem? Do you feel a hearing difficulty? Medicalia is here to ease the pain for you. The first and only hearing aid dispensing facility nationwide, where patients can be tested and treated to recover from their hearing loss. Fitted with latest generation equipment, our doctors can provide healthcare assistance for eyes, ears, nose, and throat. Common diseases like glaucoma or diabetic retinopathy can be diagnosed and followed up for fast and correct treatment. Make your appointment with the eye or ear, nose, and throat ENT specialist today to relieve any pain you might be feeling, as consultants are available daily. Contact us for more information. Visit us at Tropic Shopping Center near Senegambia from 9 a.m. to 11 p.m. every day of the week, or call us on 503-4411 or 7767-123. Medicalia, premium care, personal touch.
Yeah, so we are back. This is QTV This Morning. This program is officially and proudly sponsored by Opticalia. They're located at the Tropic Shopping Center. We are back, and like I said, we have quite interesting headlines here. I mean, a headline that we will start with ourselves.
Well, before you do, can I just quickly, before I forget it,
Yes.
because we might get into stuff. 5:30 today, Gambia take on Uruguay in the Under-20 World Cup 2023 in Argentina. The match is live and free on the FIFA website. So go to the FIFA website, go to the link that says tournaments, click on Under-23, 5:30 p.m. is the kickoff. Don't miss it. It should be fantastic. It's going to be a tough game. I warn you now. Uruguay look very good, but so do Gambia.
Well, it's going to be a tough game, you know, but we're just going to watch and see what will happen. But we also believe in our boys.
We believe in our boys, and we take our cue from Nigeria, who beat Argentina, the host, yesterday, 2-0. So Argentina are out of the World Cup. Fantastic game yesterday.
Exactly. Yeah, so now let's take a look at the headlines. I mean, the main headlines on one of the newspapers called Standard, QTV denies censoring Madi Jobate. And I'm seeing the head of the news department full picture in front of this newspaper, on the newspaper, and Madi Jobate. We also have BCC mayor, NPP councillors take oath at a separate ceremony. Central Bank says inflation has increased beyond expectations. And of course, government says secure port not authorized to increase airport fee. We also have another headline, court orders SG to appear to authenticate documents. That's what we have. So let's start with the main headline. QTV denies censoring Madi Jobate. Are you censoring Madi Jobate?
No, I mean, it's a pity you can't open the newspaper. Madi had been on QTV a number of times, and there were a couple of incidents where he had attended events that were then not broadcast. And he wrote a piece saying that he was being censored by QTV. Lots of people commented. I found it quite interesting. A lot of people seemed to direct their comments at me. It seemed as if they had been waiting for a chance to criticize me. So I read the comments, and I called Madi and I explained to him. I said, look, you know, as a journalist, I've been a journalist for 45 years. I don't believe in censorship. And I have to be honest, I apologized that it had gotten to this stage. And I assured him, I'd had a meeting with management, and I said, look, it won't happen again. We are not in the business of censoring anybody. We don't believe in censorship. And if one looks across QTV, I gave a statement to various newspapers. I said, you will see people of all political persuasions have appeared on QTV, on the news, on various current affairs programs. And if we want to be this new Gambia that we profess to be, then we don't and we won't be censoring anybody. And that was where I left it. Well, I don't want to get into a fight with somebody like Mahdi, somebody I respect. I have to say that on record. And you know, I don't think anybody wins or gains from this sort of thing. But I think we have to be big enough to admit that mistakes were made. And you know, hopefully we all move forward. It's interesting reading the comments. As I said, a lot of the comments were personal to me. Some of them attacked QTV, some of them attacked the wider Q group, QCell, our CEO, and so on. So it seemed as if, you know, people used the opportunity of his statement to vent on a variety of things. But people can watch QTV and they will see that, you know, we don't intend to censor anybody.
Well, I think it said it all.
Yeah.
I mean, it's from the horse's mouth. I mean, what way could we say it better? I mean, you know, I don't think it will be wise for a media house that is recommended and respected by, you know, more than 2 million people. I mean, to be censoring a particular group or a person.
We have a responsibility because of the position we occupy to give voice to all sorts of opinions, including dissenting opinions and so on. And you know, a media house has to be the conscience of any particular country, particularly if you have a prominent position as we do, First Independent Channel, and you go to many places, this is the channel they tune in and watch. So I think we have a responsibility to our audience. And that was why, as I said, Standard newspaper, other people contacted me saying, are you upset? I said, no. Sometimes it comes with the territory. They thought I would be upset because some of the attacks were personal. But as I said, I'm an old man. I've seen it, done it, so I can take it. You know, and as I said, people can judge us. And I said to the guy I spoke to on the phone, from the Standard newspaper, I said, I could talk and talk and talk. I could write all sorts of statements. All I would say to you, watch QTV from now to the end of the year. If you find reason to criticize us, then come back and do so. But
Absolutely.
you know,
Yeah, one thing for sure, I mean, I believe we will not censor, but we won't also jeopardize the integrity of our news, of the program.
No, I mean, there are all sorts of reasons why things may be taken out of a story or something, you know. For example, if something is inflammatory, if it's hate speech and so on. There are many stories we've killed because they've been one-sided. For example, when somebody has come to us with quite a convincing story about something, but we haven't even asked the other side of the story. So in fact, you mentioned in one of the stories about the separate swearing in ceremonies yesterday. That was a perfect example. I mean, the temptation would be to go just one narrative about these guys, they did a boycott, did they not boycott? But unless you speak to them, why did you not attend the main ceremony? You can't come with a story saying that, you know, this is what happened. And we weren't able to get anybody to respond from the NPP side as to why it was. And so in our story, if anybody watched it on the news, what we said was that there were separate ceremonies, but we didn't have a chance to clarify. So there are reasons why we dropped the element of people accusing them of boycotting, because we hadn't gotten their side of the story. So there are times when we have to make that judgment, and as experienced journalists, you know, like I said, I'm 68. My first paid story as a journalist was when I was 23. So that's 45 years of journalism, and you know, I don't want to risk my reputation by you know, being deceitful. So I was very upfront and honest with the journalists when they called me and asked for a statement. Yeah.
We are the new era in Gambian. Is it era or era? Mr. Bawu always says era.
It depends on which country you're from. Some
Then
call it
it's era.
Some say era. It depends.
We all have our
It
different
depends
ways of
of
pronouncing.
pronunciation.
Yeah, so now
yeah.
let's take a look at the swearing ceremony
Yeah.
yesterday. It was, so for me, I call it a childish swearing
It
ceremony.
was really childish.
I mean,
And
how,
for me, sorry to interrupt, I was quite upset that it came to that. And the reason I was upset is that if you listen to these politicians, if you listen even to the president, he was talking about set aside political differences. They all said it. They all said it. And you know, talk is cheap. What you do, your actions will betray whether what you say is true. So for us to end up with separate ceremonies, in spite of everything all the politicians have said, disgraceful. I don't care who's right, who's wrong. It should never have gotten to that stage. It should never have happened.
Well, it's
I saw on Kirfatu that according to the reporter who you know, engaged some of these NPP guys, was like, you know, they claim that the seats were, they have no seats reserved for them. You know, it was occupied by the UDP supporters. But according to the picture that they have, there were seats for the councillors and they were indicated that it's reserved for the councillor. So I don't know what the thing is, but whatever it is, you know, it was not really expected of anybody.
It was unseemly.
It was, honestly.
It was unseemly. I'm sure it has never happened before in the history of this country.
No, it has never.
And it does not set a good example. If you politicians are intending to set a good example, then that was not a good example. And if you are to be held to your words, oh, let's forget about politics, let's work in the interest of, then you have betrayed yourself immediately before you've even taken office.
You know what I said when I saw that, I mean, drama? What I said was, these are the people that we voted for. These are the people that we trust, so that we entrust them with our governance.
Yesterday,
these are the people running our affairs.
Just yesterday, you were talking about why people said they would not vote, and because they didn't trust politicians. If politicians behave like this, who can trust us?
I am disappointed.
So
NPP standing over there refusing, and UDP also. I mean, NPP, UDP. Come on, calm down.
You know,
and even I heard that this morning. I was reading that even at Birkama, Sirifo Sonko did not attend the inauguration of Yankuba Dabo.
Our colleague Kajaga was there, so he will tell us, no doubt.
Yeah.
But politicians, please, if you want people to trust you, change your behavior. If you say that we are all Gambians, we're all working in the interest of Gambia, then let it not be mere words. Let your actions show that you mean what you say. Otherwise, we will not trust you.
Absolutely.
And that was the perfect example of why people don't trust politicians. I'm sorry.
It's difficult.
You've fallen at the first hurdle. You know.
And today is Judgment Day in Senegal.
Yes, the Ousmane
Sonko's
Sonko trial,
Yeah.
the rape trial. He refused to attend the court. He's telling people to come out and protest. People are being killed. He's still telling people to come out and protest. For me, that's irresponsible. When people are losing their lives, you keep claiming your life is in danger, but you're still alive. 13 people have died in this unrest, and you're still telling people to come out. But you're still alive. Oh, my life's in danger. You know, hey, come on, be responsible. Tell your people to stay home. Don't tell them to come out on the streets and burn cars and buildings.
There was national dialogue yesterday where the president was and lots of other dignitaries. They are all calling for calm and peace. And even Kumba Gawlo was there, you know, urging all parties to come to, you know, be one people. And Senegal is one. Let them not destroy the country that they worked so hard to build. So it was really emotional for me, you know, seeing the president and even musicians coming, urging Senegalese to actually restrain and, you know, be calm and, you know, drop whatever grudges that they have for one another, and then come together and work for the development of the country.
Well, sometimes I think politicians will say this, but the problem is themselves. I mean, they are the main cause of all this problem. They are the ones. I mean, sometimes they'll come and tell, please, let's maintain peace, while they are instigating violence.
Your supporters come out onto the streets.
They are smart. We know how they work now.
You know, and so, you know, for me, as I said, Ousmane Sonko, he's behaving irresponsibly. And, you know, I think, you know, the media, the Western media, we're all getting swept along with Ousmane Sonko because he's run a very good kind of online campaign. He's used social media cleverly. But this is a guy who came a distant third in the last election, presidential election. We're only talking about 2019. He got 16% of the vote. So it's not like he was second, and he was second by a few. He got 16%. Let's get real. Let's have a reality check. You know, so when people talk this nonsense about he's the biggest threat, no, he's the biggest threat. If you talk about online media and all this shouting on social media, then he's a threat, and because he has all these young men that he can instigate.
Well, I was
to come
even
out
surprised
and
that he was not even the second person.
Well, he got 16%. You know, don't take my word for it. The election results are there for all to see. You know, so yeah. But he's generated. Look, this is a clever thing that people do across the world. Yumkela did it in Sierra Leone to the extent where CNN, Al Jazeera were saying that this guy was going to be the next president of Sierra Leone. What did he get in the 13% in the first round? So he didn't even make it to the runoff. 13% Yumkela get. Bobby Wine in Uganda. Same nonsense. Oh, the youth are going to elect him.
There was a time I was saying Bobby Wine is going to be the next president of Uganda.
Everybody thought
Peter Obi in Nigeria. The day before, if you read the reports, they all said the youth were going to. The youth didn't even bother to get off their asses and vote.
The youth were smoking
26% turnout in Nigeria's last presidential election. We have to keep saying that. 26% turnout. Who were these youth? Where were they? All the noise they were making.
Well, that's a very poor.
You know, so in fact, when Tinubu got sworn in the other day, Tinubu supporters started teasing Peter Obi's supporters because in the run-up to the elections, they were calling themselves obedients. We are Peter Obi's obedients. And so on swearing-in day, inauguration day, Tinubu supporters started calling them obediots.
Obedience.
So, political sparring.
Yeah, exactly. So, Mr. Ade, thank you for coming.
Pleasure. And thank you for asking me about the thing. As I said, and I'll repeat it, we're not fighting anybody. We don't want to prolong this, and we're not censoring anybody.
Exactly. So, thank you very much, viewers. We'll take a short break. After the break, then, we will talk to the Minister of Health on the data collector and non-communicable disease. So we'll be right back.
Is a high-quality clinic from Europe, which is now in the Gambia. Do you have an eye problem? Do you feel a hearing difficulty? Medicalia is here to ease the pain for you. The first and only hearing aid dispensing facility nationwide, where patients can be tested and treated to recover from their hearing loss. Fitted with latest generation equipment, our doctors can provide healthcare assistance for eyes, ears, nose, and throat. Common diseases like glaucoma or diabetic retinopathy can be diagnosed and followed up for fast and correct treatment. Make your appointment with the eye or ear, nose, and throat ENT specialist today to relieve any pain you might be feeling, as consultants are available daily. Contact us for more information. Visit us at Tropic Shopping Center near Senegambia from 9 a.m. to 11 p.m. every day of the week, or call us on 503-4411 or 7767-123. Medicalia, premium care, personal touch.
Step into the Espas Motors showroom for your luxurious name brand vehicle. Located along the Bertil Harding Highway, Espas Motors is the Gambia's authorized dealer for Chery, Kia, Ford, and now we bring you the new Peugeot model 3008 SUV. 18-inch alloy wheels, 216 inches high ground clearance, keyless entry system, start and stop button, rear parking assistance system, reverse camera, adaptive cruise control with speed limit, LED daytime running lights, front and side airbags, 8-inch HD touchscreen. Not to forget our exquisite Peugeot Landtrek double cabin pickup with 2.1-liter diesel engine, 6-speed manual transmission 4x4, hill descent control, LED daytime running lights. Espas Motors, the authorized dealer for Peugeot. Visit us today or call us on 35-2222 or 353-4444.
Do your banking the smart way with the new Ajibank mobile app. Transfer money to any bank account in the Gambia. Top up airtime for all networks. Pay utility bills. Check your account balance and view mini statements. Request for ATM cards. Request for checkbooks and more in a single touch. So, do your banking in a smart way. Do your banking now with Ajibank mobile app. Every time, It's banking time. Aji Bank, your investment partner.
You're watching QTV this morning. We are back, and of course, now let's talk to well, the people responsible for our health in the Gambia. As you know, they are busy, training on the data collectors, training them, and of course, non-communicable disease. So you are welcome.
Thank you.
This is not your first time on the platform. The other time we were talking about tobacco. So today we are on another topic. Yeah. Please tell us about this data collectors training.
Okay. So thank you, Ibrahim, for having me again. So the Ministry of Health, with support from the World Bank and WHO, are currently working on doing a survey for risk factors. It's actually called the STEP survey. So the STEP survey is a survey that looks at the risk factors for non-communicable diseases. When we talk about non-communicable diseases, these are diseases that you cannot have through infections, or you cannot transfer from one person to another. So in the Gambia, like any other country, we're facing a burden with non-communicable diseases, because it's shown that 34% of all our deaths are due to non-communicable diseases. And before, when we talk about non-communicable diseases, we used to say these are diseases of the West or diseases of the affluent. But now, every household you go to, you either know someone that has these diseases, or you yourself, you have these diseases. And these diseases include, but not limited to, cardiovascular disorders, including hypertension, diabetes, the cancers. It's on the rise. So the WHO stepwise survey for risk factors. So when you talk about risk factors, these are things you do or you have that will make you to have the disease easier. So we have modifiable risk factors and non-modifiable risk factors. When you look at non-modifiable, these are age. You cannot change your age, family history, and the like. But when you look at modifiable risk factors, it includes tobacco use, it includes unhealthy diet, it includes physical inactivity. So the survey, as I said, is called the WHO stepwise survey. It's steps, so it includes 3 steps. So the step 1 includes interviews. So we're going to interview people. So we're going to interview people from the ages of 18 to 69 nationwide. So it's a random sampling. So every Gambian have a chance of being selected. So when you're selected, you're going to go through these steps. So we're just reminding viewers that it's totally confidential, and consent is not by force. You have to agree to be part of it. If you don't agree to be part of it, or even consent to be part of it, and in the middle of the survey you want to go out, so that's fine. But we are urging everyone to be part of it, because as I said, it includes 3 steps. The 4th step is the interview. So with the interview, we're going to ask you about your data, we will take your names, but it's not being part of the data. It's just like, because as I said, it's 3 steps. They'll be going back. So for example, if I need to know Ibrahim, I'll have to write Ibrahim and his number so that he can give me an appointment to come back and do the steps. So the 4th step will include the interview, whereby they will take your age, your name, your history, salt intake, and the like. So the 2nd step, they will be taking physical measurements. Because as I said,
before you go there, history health-wise, that in the Gambia, hardly people go to the hospitals and get a checkup done on them. For instance, like I'm sitting here, nothing is wrong with me. So hardly I deem it necessary to go and say, okay, I want to know my health status as far as the non-communicable diseases are concerned. That is very rare. People don't know their health status.
And these are silent killers, as you said. When you have hypertension or diabetes, they don't have signs and symptoms. You'll hear people telling you, oh, if I have headache, then I know my BP. That's very wrong. Then you know that there's a danger already being caused, because these are silent killers, as I said. Once you have it, the moment they start manifesting symptoms, you already have the disease, or they're at a complication stage. So that is what I'm saying. When they ask you history, we'll know now. This will tell us about the health-seeking behaviors of Gambia. So it will, the survey is very important because it will give us information about the age disparity. It would show us how many people have hypertension, undiagnosed hypertension, how many people have undiagnosed diabetes. Because when you do the history taking, you will ask people about fruit intake, you ask people about alcohol, you ask people about tobacco and the like. Then there will be physical measurements. This physical measurement includes taking your BP. Then we will know if you have a raised BP or not. Because even the taking of the BP, we will take about 3 sets of different BP just to be sure. So we will also take the weight and the height, because we know if you take the weight and the height, it will help you to know the person's body mass index. Then you will be able to know whether we have an obese population, how many of the population is obese and the like. Because when we know when you're obese, it's also a risk factor, so a lot of non-communicable diseases. So your height and weight, the waist circumference and the hip circumference will be taken. So that is step 2. Then when you also consent to step 3, this includes blood work and collection of urine. So with the urine, we are looking at salt intake. We know with the stepwise, so we're also looking at high salt intake. Because when there is a high salt intake, the tendency of you having hypertension increases. And we know when it comes to the Gambia, we take a lot of salt. So this salt does not only include the raw salt or the organic salt. It also includes a lot of bouillon, that's like Maggi, Kadi, Ami, and the like. And food also high in salt intake, like the canned food, sardines, corned beefs, and the like. All of those, the chips that we give these kids, all of these things are very high in salt. So when we take your urine, we'll be able to check the salt intake. And then we'll also take the blood work to look at the sugar level and the cholesterol level, because we also know that we have a lot of people with very high cholesterol and they hardly go to it. So this is what the stepwise survey entails. So we have already trained the data collectors. These data collectors will be going nationwide to collect this data.
So after you collected the data, what next? Are you going to, for instance, if you find that a particular person is having hypertension or diabetes, what is going to happen?
So the next step will be, it's all Ministry of Health. You'll be how is it called? A note will be written. Every client that is seen, there will be a feedback form. So when you're giving the feedback form, you'll be advised to go to the nearest health facility. Yes.
So these data collectors, how many have you trained, and from what sections? Because normally we know that in the Gambia, trainings are only focused in the Greater Banjul area. Does it include like people from other parts of the country?
Yes, as I said, it's going to be a nationwide survey. So we have taken everybody from different regions. So the survey is in connection. We're doing it together with GBOS. So we have we train 20 supervisors, 60 data collectors. So the data collectors, so it will be like a team of 4. You'll have a supervisor, you'll have a public health officer, you'll have a nurse and a lab technician. So the nurses and the public health will be the ones administering the questionnaire and doing the physical measurement. Then the lab technician will be doing the lab assessment, and the supervisor will make sure that, because according to, with GBOS, they're the ones that usually are more involved in surveys. So we have enumeration areas. For example, if you come to Kairawa Avenue, they are all enumeration areas. So they will help with the map reading and to ascertain which households that will go. So if we go to the household, they're going to list all the members that are within the age bracket, that is 18 to 69 years. So we'll list everybody, then do a random sampling, then select those people that will be interviewed.
How many people are you targeting?
We're targeting about 5,389 people.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So these data collectors, once they collected these data and all that, what are we really seeking to achieve from this whole thing? Because we know that it's a complex issue. Sometimes them in a particular house, even giving you the accurate information is a problem in this country. So how are you going to go about that?
So one of the things we're going to go about it is you inviting us here to talk to people about the survey so that they'll be expecting. Because we quite know the Gambia we used to know and the Gambia now is not the same. Because like that's why we have participant information booklet. We have trained them to at least be able to communicate with the people, because these are very sensitive issues. I cannot just barge into your house and tell you, give me your hand, I have to take your BP, I need to take your blood. Taking blood and urine, these are very sensitive issues. So the person needs to be convinced. And the manner and way you have to talk to the person is very, very important. That's why we had a 1 week whole training to train the data collectors, because they're getting into communities and they're diverse communities. You understand?
Yeah.
Not everyone can speak English or giving just the leaflet for the person to read. So you have to explain to the person the importance of this. Because when we look at the Gambia, the last stepwise survey is a survey that is not only done in the Gambia, it's done worldwide. And the Gambia last did a stepwise survey in 2010. So you know you cannot use the data of 2010 to project the policies for now. But when we have this data, we'll be able to know how many people in the Gambia actually, because we might be even saying 34% of deaths are due to this. The prevalence of tobacco is 16, when it is even more than that. So the only way you can know is through these surveys. Then when we get the results, we'll be able to have better policies. Now maybe we are focusing on malaria, when malaria now is almost through eradication, when hypertension is more of a problem. So now we'll be able to know how much of a burden these diseases are really here.
Okay. So when is it, when are we expecting this to kickstart?
We're going to start on Monday, the 5th of June, inshallah.
Where are you starting?
Well, as I said, it's nationwide.
Simultaneously?
Yes, so it's simultaneously. So we have about 20 teams that will be going through the length and breadth of the country. Yes.
How long will it take?
3 months.
3 months.
Oh,
Yes.
3 months. Wow, nice. I mean, that's at least a long duration. Yeah.
All right, so I'm told our time is up. Thank you for coming. This one, you got it right and straight. This one, there is no pull and push, you know. Yeah, so thank you very much. We'll be monitoring. And when you are back again from that campaign, we will invite you again.
Of course, to discuss about the data.
Yeah, so viewers, will take a short break. After the break, it's the Click segment. We'll be back.
Thank you.
Do your banking the smart way with the new Ajibank mobile app. Transfer money to any bank account in the Gambia. Top up airtime for all networks. Pay utility bills. Check your account balance and view mini statements. Request for ATM cards. Request for checkbooks and more in a single touch. So, do your banking in a smart way. Do your banking now with Ajibank mobile app. Every time is banking time. Ajibank, your investment partner.
Opticalia is a leading European brand which is now in the Gambia. Are you looking for glasses? Then you have come to the right place. As a first step, we will perform an eye exam to ensure we prescribe the correct lenses for you. After that, you can select a frame of your choice. We have a variety of brands in stock, and you will definitely find yours. You can have the full package of frame plus lenses starting from $990 up to more for the most fashionable options. Once you find a frame you like, your lenses will immediately be edged by our lab technician. Within 30 minutes, you will be able to leave with your prescription glasses and a huge smile on your face. How amazing is that? Visit us at the Tropic Shopping Center near Senegambia from 9 a.m. to 11 p.m. every day of the week, or call us on 503-4411 or 7767-123. Medicalia is a high-quality...
Espas Motors is the largest and most modern auto service in the Gambia. Espas Motors is the only authorized dealer in Chevy, Mercedes-Benz trucks, Mercedes-Benz buses, Kia, Ford, Futon Mini and Midi buses, Futon trucks. At Espas Motors, we have qualified professionals who use modern technology to diagnose and repair all brands of motor vehicles. Espas Motors services include auto sales, auto repairs, vehicle painting, availability of high-quality spare parts, towing services. We are reachable at any time. Call Espas Motors on 352222 353-4444 or locate us on the Bertil Harding Highway. Espas Motors.
You're watching QTV this morning. We are back. We are almost at the end of the program, and how we do it all the time, the click segment. You know, my brother Churchill Balde. Yeah, man, dribbilerna.
You already know what time it is. It's entertainment time.
You are drib bass.
Mom, every time we jump,
no, why you drib bass ngadi?
Drib bass.
So ne ku drib bass, ku drib bass.
Oh, mama drib bass.
Bobo Sanga.
I know, right? It's your man, Churchill Ballet. Today, I'm not your boy, I'm your man, I've grown. So right here, it's the click segment. And to help us walk through the click segment, we have Gambia's drill king, Marco Bass. What up, bro?
I need it.
You cool. You better new sa fancy.
Yeah, assalamu alaikum Gambia. Nuyu na len yeen ñep. Xam ngeen kan la Marco Bass, Mr. Batman Gangster, Mr. Batman. Ma ngi ni fi ni ci morning show bi. Pour waxa yeen about June 3rd bi inshallah this Saturday Penchami Hall. Yeah.
Mr. Batman Gangster. Man, I have a problem with Lulu. Yo, so I say about Batman Gangster. My Mary ak daddy name the Glusa song. Aglamodan I say about Batman Gangster in the first place.
Okay, like hanga like gangster dafa bari ways. Am na gangsters yoo xam ne ñoo dee def yu doy waar yi daal. Am na koo xam ne dafa gangster si li moo def. I wanna understand. So okay, man gangster bu xam soxlaam la.
Oh.
I wanna understand nga. So moo tax ma tuddee suma bu fa Batman Gangster ak Batman Gentleman bang fa tamit.
Bu gentleman fa. No, yow sa you seem gentle. Yow comme amuloo problème. Yow yaa ngi baax. So léegi walk us through yow sa journey into music. La moo tax nga choose music?
Like music moom digga su ma waxee comme su ma wax lu tax ma choose music like it's because of dama love music loolu moo tax ma choose ko.
Okay.
Because buga moo dee tax nga choose lu bari.
True.
Because nit suy liggéey sax like buga moo tax mu def liggéey. Because like doo jóg rek nga def liggéey soo ko def like dina la jël process boo xam ne nii da ngaa jàngal liggéey boobu ba mun koo dem def in the future. Yeah, so man tam music noonu la daal dama ko loo dugga si ba léegi alhamdulillah daal maa ngi.
So yow boo choose pour def music. sa parents yi ñoom lan la gars yi feel si loolu.
Yeah, man bu ma choose balaa ma doon choose music nekkoon na xalaati man because maa ngi doon yoga ok su ma waree dem ne leen dama bëgg a def music.
naka ko gars yi
waaw xam nga no understand nga after lu ma def yi waaye dama taka suma fit rek ngir dama ko bëgga ma dem waa gaay at the end of the day lu ma gaay wax mooy comme like bañu nga def ko de waaye nit sooy jaay daxaar sax nang si am fayda.
fula fayda bi mooy yëpp.
yeah so moo tax man tamit lu ma def tamit dama si dee boole fayda xam nga fu ma.
loolu moom ñu ngi ko gisee ba pare ñu ngi ko gisee sa sound.
yeah
so the name Marco Bass naka la ñëwee.
Marco Bass Malick Seck mooy Marco Bass.
oh
Malick Seck mooy suma real tour.
da ngeen creative nag artist.
so like ma jël like MA ma jël MA SECKA ma jël last KA bi ak force MA bi. Join ko ma am Marco. Because bëgguma jël just bëgguma ñëw just use any kind of name boo xam ne nii xaw ma understand nga. It's owned by someone else or dama ko copy si keneen. Why not ma use suma own tour ak santa si boppam as an artist name so still génnuma suma boppam.
Why Marco Bass is not spelled like that?
Well, hang on, artists.
That's Marco.
No, artists ñoom dañu ko create in how they spell.
Gars dañoo ñëw rek di ñu fake. Fii fake awul bi.
ok léegi mun nga ma may ma expliquer
BASS.
déedéet
waaye
loolu du Marco Bass.
Bass as in like hanga song.
loolu du
hanga so de
BASS na BARS.
I'm not a musician.
Ah mooy sa boss.
yeah BARZ mooy bass bi.
man dama ko wone nag ñu bëgg
bass moom xam naa warta laajte lan mooy bass bi because like soo gisee maa ngi fii tey bass yaa tax maa ngi fii.
music.
Marco bi MAKA mooy Marco.
Man suma ko wasa mënoon na ko explain bass even though nekk ma musician.
so
bass mooy nekk
léegi na ma wax naka lañ dee spellé Marco bi right now.
waaw léegi aja
Marco bi du MAKA.
ok
waaw
so fan laa ron
Marco
Man, smoke out the music.
No, I'm trying to pull his legs.
Morning show bi la foog mu ja. So dama bëggoon ñu introduce music video ma bala ñu def loolu. Dama bëgg nga explainal Gambia because yow da nga jox sa bopp a very big title. Yow da nga oyee sa bopp di Drill King. So léegi dama bëgg nga justify loolu la moo tax nga oyee sa bopp di Drill King.
Quickly, we have few minutes.
Few minutes bala sa video.
And like first by then Gambia kenn nekkutoon di def drill dëgg la wala du dëgg. Ok dama daan dem si school si like dañ ma daan or like school shows yu bari. So dama daan dem but balaa performance yi dama dee gis DJ si suñ play like UK drill music like nit yi seen reaction daf dee over like xam nga ma so like si laa toog ma ne man damaa def drill song so si laa teg first drill song mooy Batman Gangster after that Batman Gangster video boom léegi upcoming yi sax ñu ngi drill big artists yi sax ñu ngi drill te time boobu gars yi duñ doon drill maa ko fi njëkk a def.
He paved the way.
Yeah and soo gisee tamit UK right now man fa am comme like fans yu bëri yeah like xam nga understand soo gisee loolu yëpp happen because of bu ma drobee drill songs yi am na ñu ma mit sax ñu ngi maa ne comme léegi ñoom ñu ngi am opportunities pour seen drill songs yi mu ngi daw fii because of man because of time boobu kenn focus sutoon si drill music like bu ma ko defee boom safara bi taal ñëpp di ko def xam nga understand and dama bëgg a Gambia tamit ñu recognize loolu du dama ko bëgg a baaxoo de but nit ku nekk tamit sa liggéey da nga ko
right now suma platform nga ñëw nga woo ko dafa dem bul woo let's check Marco Bass video and we'll be right back.
Yeah.
220 Records, baby. Kid boy, I'm a kid on the beats.
Man maa ngi fii rek di ko def yow yaa ngi fii ngeen ne du ma dem dama dee pour lii kon doo ma rey yàgg naa di jéngu lii foog ma toog ba rey li nga gis ma teg fii nii bum la jaaxal dama juddu mel nii man rek a mel nii bum la metti dama ñax pour lii baby don't kill my vibes yeah they wanna feel my vibes let me live my life baby don't kill my vibe.
Welcome back from that don't kill my vibe. Marco Bass giving us all that vibe. So léegi ñu bàyyi la because yaa ngi waajal lu rëy waaw so ñu bàyyi la yow nga wax lu noonu then ñu wrap it up from there.
Yéen dégg ngeen ko Gambia like ñu bëri daanaka gis nañ promotion bi si internet bi and mu ngi daw everywhere June 3 this Saturday Pencami Hall ñu ngi oo Gambian si yëpp pour ñu ñëw support like drill show because bëgg nañ drill music tamit taxaw Gambia ba nga xam ne nit yi tamit nañ ko recognize si genre music yi Gambia yi ma mën a understand nga ba like sometime in future ñuy jox drill artists yi am like awards and that because gis naa ndoo yu bëri right now su ñëw start music drill la so maa ngi oo ñëpp pour ñu ñëw support and celebrate drill music and shout out to promoters yi and suma label suma team ñu nekk di job si show bi yëpp tickets si 250 la advance bi 800 VIP and 400 si gate bi so yeah yomb na ba dee dama bëgg ñëpp mën a ñëw show love am na understand so ñu ngi call on Gambian si yëpp pour ngeen ñëw support June 3 this Saturday Pencami Hall
June 3 we outside the whole team bale ana bina da nga dem nag
Magic Fingers Entertainment tamit ñoom ñoo jàpp ñu gën a taxaw si show bi ak suma label ma understand ak promoter si so maa ngi wax shout out ñoom ñëpp ak ñëpp ñu jàpp suma show bi fan si family bi and yéen fii nii ma understand nga so
big up
ñun li leen def
big up
June 3
all we have for you we'll be connecting to the commission have a wonderful day bye bye